Hello there!
I'm Emily,
And I'm Kayla.
and we just want to talk movies for a whole second season.
We're back!
Cheer sound effect.
Oh wait, I can add that in post. We're back. We're back, folks. We took up how long did we break for?
Oh, like almost 3 months?
Yep, we took a summer break and now we are back in the saddle, folks.
We're back, baby.
We're back. We're happy to be back, and we're here to, guess what? Talk about some movies.
Yes, this episode we're gonna go over some movies we saw over the summer.
That we didn't get to talk about because
Yes.
we were silent.
Yes.
Were you
Including-
silent or were you silenced? We were silent.
We were self-inflicted silence. But we are going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine today as well. A review.
A mini review.
Since that is the most recent film.
We've got some great episodes planned for this season. I got Emily to watch all of Breaking Bad over the summer, so expect an episode on that.
Yes,
what other
yes.
episodes have we got coming up possibly in the next coming months, Emily?
Well, I completely forget, but I think one of them is we're going to talk about Megalopolis.
Oh, God.
Because that did get a release date.
Oh, boy. Oh, we gonna talk about the Joker. That's coming up. We're gonna talk about Terrifier. I'm not excited about that. We're gonna do some quizzing of each other on Stranger Things and Star Wars respectively, because
Disrespectfully.
yeah, maybe. We're gonna do an episode about Gladiator and ancient films. We're gonna talk about book to movie or TV show adaptations. We got lots of ideas planned, folks. So stay tuned for season 2. Dun, dun, dun.
It's going to be super fun.
Yes.
But for now, let's get this episode started. Just let's go over some brief news. Red, White, and Royal Blue was nominated for Outstanding Television Film at the Emmys, and if it doesn't win, it's bonkers.
Then the Emmys doesn't mean anything. It's a scam.
But anyway, that's nice. I think it deserved many more nominations for other things, but at least it got that one. And my only other piece of news is Daisy Ridley's thriller Magpie got distribution in the US from Shout Studios. So we should be seeing it release very, very soon. We got a trailer that was in Russian, so I couldn't understand what was being said, but I saw clips, and it looks pretty interesting. They're not showing too much, so I think that's probably a good thing. But I heard it's just like insane psychological thriller stuff, that the third act is just off the wall bonkers. So
I love a psychological thriller.
yes, I'm really excited to see Daisy in this kind of movie and this kind of role, especially because this is like her idea, her story idea, her production company and everything. So I'm very, very excited to finally get some news for it.
Oh yeah, my news. Whoa.
What?
I'm tired, guys. My news is Stranger Things news. Who would have thought? We're back.
Here, segment music.
That's gonna be really hard for me to edit. Sorry, future me. Okay. We had lots of updates, so I'm gonna keep this as concise as possible, because if you're even interested in this, I'm sure you've seen all this crap as well. So basically, we got a little teaser thing from the production. They are officially more than halfway through at this point, but they released a little teaser when they were halfway through filming, and just gave us some more glimpses behind the scenes, some little snippets of the actors talking about how bittersweet it's going to be to film the last season, but some interesting things that we got confirmed from that teaser is they have recast Holly Wheeler. I can't Nell Fisher, I think, is the new actress's name. And that makes everyone believe that she's going to be a big part of season 5, which makes me excited, and Emily excited, because Emily really likes Holly.
I do.
Yes. I kind of feel bad for the other little girls who used to play her, because they just, I guess, got fired, which is kind of sad.
You're not good enough.
Yeah, they needed someone who could, like, carry scenes, I guess, and she's a little older, I think, this new actress.
There's probably going to be, like, a time jump.
That's another thing that people are like, I don't know, because Elle's hair is really long, even though she got it buzzed last season. I don't know. Lucas looks pretty much the same. He still has the flat top haircut. So, like, I don't know. I can't really tell. But other things, just been getting a lot more paparazzi photos. We got a lot of them have been, like, very intense red lighting in them. So, definitely we're going back into Vecna's lair. But we have a new church set that they've been filming at, and I've seen some very grainy, distant clips of. And there's lots of red lighting there as well. But yeah, just exciting little things here and there. I was very happy to see this little teaser that they released. We got to see some new characters. There's not much information, just pictures. But you know, I'll seed it. I'll eat it. I'm seated. I'll eat it up. You know. Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. I want, like, an actual teaser soon, though.
Tease me,
please. Okay, moving on.
Outro. So, the first movie that we're going to talk about is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, we're going most recent.
Yeah, might as well get the big one out of the way. That's what you're all here for.
Yeah, you might already be done with Deadpool and Wolverine by now.
Yeah.
We're kind of late to the party.
Like the only big movie of
the summer?
Yeah,
not much was happening this summer. We got some, like, long legs people talked about a lot, but I don't know if I would say that was a huge summer blockbuster. But this one for sure falls in that category. And another one that I'll be talking about soon. But, let's focus on this one for now.
But I still don't think it beat Dune.
No.
At the box office.
Well, didn't they get to $1 billion?
Oh,
like,
maybe
the first
they did.
week? I don't know. I don't pay attention so much to the numbers.
Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about the movie.
It reshaped the way I listen to Madonna.
Oh.
That's all I have to say. That's the biggest thing I came away from this movie with.
Okay.
Is, no. It was very fun. I was very excited. I think that Marvel needed this movie because they're kind of going downhill, which I liked that they were self-aware of in the movie.
Yeah.
I am still tired of the multiverse stuff, so I definitely was a little fatigued with all that. But I think they didn't focus on, like, the TVA too much. That was what I was going to be concerned about, because I was like, Loki is not my favorite show, and I was like, I don't want this to be another Loki and time travel stuff. But I think they mostly focus on just having a ball and focusing on the two main guys, which was wonderful. And I think Hugh Jackman was so good in this movie, and he didn't need to be that good, but he was so good.
Definitely. I think that this movie did what it needed to do. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, we just wanted to see Deadpool and Wolverine in a movie together.
And then see them killing people.
Yes, lots of violence and all that. And it delivered.
Yes.
I thought it was very similar to No Way Home.
Yeah,
where
it felt
it's
that
like,
way.
Okay, we all know why we're here, so here it is.
Exactly.
Not too much focus on the story or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And what I kept thinking through this whole movie is it really is, like No Way Home, a fan fiction movie.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that same thing.
Which that's fine for what it is.
Yeah.
You know? It didn't, like, reignite my passion for Marvel or make me excited for the future of Marvel or anything. But it's like, you know what? It was a fun time. The comedic timing with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman was just fantastic.
It was so fun.
They are fantastic together, as we all knew they would be.
My favorite scene is the scene in the Honda Odyssey where they basically try to kill each other for like 12 hours straight. That scene was so good.
Yes. And yeah, like you said, Hugh Jackman gave like a really good performance both in the comedic and the emotional side, which I wasn't expecting.
Which he didn't need to do, but like
of course
he would, because he's Wolverine.
Yeah, playing Wolverine by now for Hugh Jackman is like, it's not gonna be
amazing.
Jaw-dropping.
Amazing, show-stopping, talented,
yes,
unafraid to reference or not reference.
Lots of referencing. The costume was great. Seeing him with the mask on,
that was fun.
Just fantastic.
Seeing his shredded body in that last scene.
Okay.
Everyone was very excited to see it.
Yes. I think it was really cool to see Blade and Gambit, especially, even though they weren't huge parts of the story, and it was kind of random how they were just there. Random. But it was still like, you got to see them interact a little bit, and you got to see them fight, use their powers, like just kicking ass left and right for a small segment. And it was like, that's really fun. And it's amazing to see a comic accurate version of Gambit.
Yeah.
Even though Channing Tatum
is an interesting choice.
His voice was not it for Gambit.
It was definitely intentional how bad the accent was. And I've seen a lot of people say that that's like a pretty accurate Cajun accent too, but I don't know if that's true. I don't have any. I wouldn't know, but
I only go off the 90s cartoon, so I guess I wouldn't be an expert.
I think that if they were going to go into this doing like the TVA and the where were they, the garbage dump place of people who don't fit into the timeline and stuff like that. I think it was clever that they used characters who they've deserved movies or more movies all this time, but they haven't, and so bringing back old actors or old characters, I think that was a clever way to use that plot line.
Like Elektra.
Yeah, exactly. Justice for some characters who we like and we wanted to see again, which was fun.
That was
especially
awesome.
Laura.
Yes.
I love her.
I wanted a lot more with her, though.
Me too.
I don't think she got any good action scenes.
No, and she was kick butt in Logan. I was like, I would need to see her go crazy again.
But it was so nice to see her back, and then just Daphne Keane and Hugh Jackman having a scene together was really, really nice.
I know, it tugged my heartstrings.
And I do love how they didn't mess with Logan.
Yeah, they didn't bring back Logan. They just brought back a Wolverine.
Yes. But also, again, kind of bringing back the fan fiction movie aspect. You get to see Wolverine have a happy ending with his daughter. And it was just so yes!
Yeah.
Thank you! So it's satisfying both ways. I love Logan, so that whole thing wasn't messed up. But at the same time, I got to see what my heart did truly want.
That's what what a lot of this movie was just giving us, it was fan service for sure.
Oh yeah, all the way. But that was the point of it.
Yeah. And I feel like in a Deadpool movie especially, where he's kind of an outsider in terms of Marvel, I feel like it fit really well for a Deadpool movie to have sort of these plot lines that were never really wrapped up in a way that maybe we wanted, or we've always dreamed that maybe something could happen, and then they deliver it to us.
Yeah, it was really sweet. I liked it. And of course, all the action was great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I like when they're fighting all the Deadpools at the end. And then they all wake back up because they can't die.
And the music and just everything. Super, super fun.
Mr. Darcy as the villain. He was insane.
He was fun.
He was
a
a
lot of
crazy villain. He was literally just playing Tom Wambsgans again from Succession, which I enjoyed because he was my favorite in Succession.
I think, yeah, as soon as I saw the TVA, I was like, oh,
I know.
no, because I have a strong dislike of Loki, the show. And I was like, I do not want to go back here. I hate all of this. Please stop. But thankfully, I thought that, I don't even know the actor's name. Oh my god. Mr. Darcy was...
Yeah, that's all that matters.
I do know his name.
He's Mr. Darcy. What else do you need to
know? He was fun. I thought that the story in general was just kind of like...
Yeah.
And the villain was just crap. I didn't like...
Charles Xavier's sister.
Oh, so lame.
Yeah.
So dumb. I didn't care at all. Thankfully, they didn't focus on her too much because I think they knew she was crap.
And the movie wasn't really about that.
Yeah.
I think, like, objectively, the first Deadpool is way better than this one. But, yeah. I mean, it again, like, No Way Home. Were we in it for a well-done, well-written movie? Not really.
Should that have happened? Yes.
I would have loved it.
That would have been ideal, but I think we all know that we just take what we can get with Marvel. At this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not expecting great things from them anymore. So.
No, my expectations were pretty low. Yeah. I just wanted to see some good action sequences and laugh, and I did.
Yep.
And so I'm satisfied.
But one last thing we have to talk about is Johnny Storm.
Oh my god!
So let me just
let's
say.
Preface this by just putting out there our love for Johnny Storm.
We adore him. He is our god.
Johnny Storm was my first love. Johnny Storm will forever be my first love, and I will never forget the first time I watched Fantastic Four and I saw him naked in the snow, and little me was like, oh wow, that guy's cool.
We love the Fantastic Four movies. Everyone hates them, but you know what, we grew up with them.
Whatever. You have no taste if you don't like the Fantastic Four movies.
I think they're really good, especially when you look at how
today
they compare with everything that comes out from Marvel nowadays.
And I think that non-ironically, Johnny Storm is Chris Evans' best ever performance, and nothing will top it for me.
Honestly, he was great. He was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't read the comics,
but it doesn't matter because he was good.
Yeah. So to see him in the suit again, to hear him say "Flame on,"
I love the misdirect too, because you hear his voice first, and you're like, "Oh, Captain America," but then you see the suit, and you're like, "Hold on."
And literally, I knew beforehand, but if I didn't know, I would have cried.
I think I would have too.
I almost did, even though I knew, but I was like...
When he said "flame on," it got me. And I was just like, okay, Kayla, you are exactly the type of person that you always make fun of with fan servicey movies. And I'm like, I don't care. I will cry when I see him again.
I would have cried if I didn't know. Like, full-on tears. But, unfortunately,
they disrespected him.
Yes. The obvious goal with this was the joke that everyone hates those movies.
Yeah.
So it was not catering to people who actually like Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. It was like, haha, remember this dumb crap? It's like, oh. And so, yeah, the disrespect. Having Pyro defeat the Human Torch
makes no sense.
That is such a joke.
That's blasphemous. Pyro can't even make his own fire.
Yeah.
He sucks.
What is that garbage? And then, of course, well, we gotta put spoilers, I guess. We just spoiled the whole movie, but this is the real spoiler right here. He just dies again as a joke.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's dead because he's so stupid everyone hates him. It's like, that didn't
And he dies to such a brutal death.
Yeah, again, people probably loved it because everyone hates those movies, but we did not appreciate it at all.
No, but, I wasn't enraged.
No,
I was like,
I
got to
knew.
see him again, so I don't really care.
It was worth it just to see him in the costume and hear him say "Flame on." That was amazing. But yeah, we're the only ones who had a very different reaction, I think.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure there's a subset of people who enjoy Johnny Storm.
I hope so. But yeah, that's our mini review of Deadpool. Is it called Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yes.
It was called Deadpool 3 for the longest time, so
No, it's Deadpool and Wolverine. They wouldn't name it Deadpool 3.
Like, is it Deadpool plus Wolverine?
I thought it was Deadpool versus Wolverine for a while.
A lot of the movie is that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can we talk about Canadian Deadpool?
That was so fun. Sorry. That was really good. Did they have Australian Wolverine? I can't remember. He goes and sees like a ton of different Wolverines, but I can't remember.
He had to have been in
They
there.
should have, because if we have Canadian Deadpool. And the dog, I like the dog. The dog was very cute.
Dog. Yeah. Anywho.
Can I talk about Twisters now?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't even really know what the reception of this movie in a wider sense was, but I went to see this movie in theaters by myself on a random Tuesday, and it was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had in a theater, and I just love this movie so much. It gave me so much dopamine. It was incredible. Listen, I'm a big fan of Twister, the original 1994, 6, 5 movie, something like that. Can't remember. Because it's fun, and it reminds me of Jurassic Park, obviously, because Michael Crichton was involved, and the sets, when they drive through the house, like, that's all I'm there for. I'm there for, like, some fun, like, the human story in the first one sucks to me. I don't care about the humans, but the sets, the action sequences, it's just so fun. The music, I love it. This next movie had all of that, and it had great characters, and I was just having so much fun. There were some awesome sequences. There's a sequence... Emily hasn't seen this, so I'm not going to go too far into spoilers. There's a sequence where there's a tornado happening, and they have to take cover in, like, an empty swimming pool. It was shot so excellently, and I was on the edge of my little seat the whole time. Okay, let's talk about... Let's talk
about Glen Powell.
I was just going to say that! That was literally what I was going to say. Okay, listen. When I first became, like, aware of Glen Powell, obviously I had seen him in Spy Kids 3, but I wasn't aware of who he was. I first really became aware of him when I saw Top Gun Maverick, a movie that I also saw in theaters alone. So me and Glen Powell now have this strange relationship where I see requels with him in it in theater alone, and I just have the best time. But anyway, I was like, he was a jerk in Top Gun Maverick, so, like, I didn't really love him. I was just like, oh, he's just that guy who plays a jerk really well. And then I saw this movie, and I was like, this guy is the greatest. He was so good in this movie, and his character was so excellent, and the chemistry between him and Daisy Edgar Jones, chef's kiss, like, they didn't need to give us that in a Twisters movie because, like I said, all you're really there for is the Twisters.
It's a twister.
We got twins.
Oh,
another thing. Oh, anyway, but they went there and they gave us an excellent enemies to lovers story.
Oh, I'm there for that.
It was so good. Anyway, the other thing, the intro. Twisters, not necessarily a major intense film. I think two like major characters die in the original.
That's what I was surprised about.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's more of like a fun. It's not supposed to be super like, ooh. At least that's not what I thought about it. But this new one, it opens and it's Daisy Edgar Jones. Is that her name, right? I think it is. And her group of friends, and Anthony Ramos is there too. And I'm like, okay, I remember seeing them two in the trailer. I don't remember seeing any of these other people. And there's like 4 other people, and I'm like, they're not gonna kill them off in the opening sequence, are they? They kill every one of them off, and in a really cool scene too. And I'm like, oh my god! So it had me gripped from then on, and the rest of the movie, it didn't really lag the rest of the movie either. So it was a great film. I don't know if I'm biased. I really want to watch it again. I wonder if I won't like it as much. And also, there's this song. It's called like Oklahoma by some wet country guy. I don't like country music. I don't really like that type of stuff. But oh my gosh, that song is my jam now. The rest of the soundtrack of this movie is kind of trash, but that song is really good. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Dang, that was like a speed run.
How fast was that?
4 minutes.
And I said so much about it. It was good, guys. Everyone go take your seats at Twister's. Oh, there's also a sequence in a movie theater at the end. So A Quiet Place, that's another movie we watched. A Quiet Place
Oh yeah.
A Quiet Place Day 1. That movie had a sequence in a movie theater. This sequence in the movie theater in Twisters blows it out of the water by incredible proportions. I know it's a completely different movie, but I just remember sitting in the theater like, now this is a good movie theater sequence. Anyway.
But there's no cat in Twisters.
There wasn't. That would have really brought it above and beyond. Anyway, I got way too excited about that.
Dang. I'm excited to see this movie now.
I know. I don't know. Twisters is like a weird, like, hyperfixation thing that I have where, like, objectively they're not the best movies, but I just am obsessed with them. And so I don't know if anyone else would share in my enthusiasm.
Going off like me with John Wick.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about them. I just love them.
So, the next movie we'll cover is one that we talked about a lot, or I talked about a lot on the show, and complained about that I wasn't going to be able to see it in the theater. But then, oh, what a lovely surprise we got in May when Young Woman and the Sea did come to a theater near us.
Yay!
And thus, I got to live my dream and see this movie as it should be seen in the theater. And it is by far my favorite movie of the year so far. That's not saying much because this year's been mostly crap.
It's definitely up there with Twisters for me. Like, not even joking.
If there had been a whirlpool scene, maybe it would be Twisters.
Yeah. If there was some Twisters, I might have said, hey, this movie's the best. But Twisters is taking the cake for me.
Oh my god.
I can't. If the rest of this year goes by and Twisters is my favorite movie of the year, that will be so funny to me.
That would about sum it up.
But it's really good.
Well, listen, remember how amazing last year was? And 65 was still my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah. So you can't judge me.
Okay, so anyway, this movie was just everything I've been waiting for. I think it is definitely one of Daisy Ridley's best performances so far. She's getting some recognition. She's getting like some kind of film festival award or something that's going on.
Excellent performance.
Amazing. It's epic, inspiring, empowering. It's a great feel-good biopic. We don't get many of those.
It's not depressing.
It's not a movie about, oh, here's this historical figure and how much their life sucked. The end. It's like, no, here's this amazing story about this woman who did something completely crazy.
Yeah.
That a very small amount of humans can do.
Yeah. I kept having to remind myself, I was like, this is a real story. Because I kept being like, no way. And I was like, wait a minute. It actually happened. People do this.
Yes. And I was so happy after reading the book. The book was very, very good. But I thought, like, they're probably not going to include a lot of this stuff in the movie. But they included so much. And I was so happy. I'm like, yes! It's just a feel-good movie. It's great to see something that's so inspiring that's a true story, because nowadays with true stories, it's usually true crime or true how this person died.
Yep.
Miserably. Mm-hmm. So it was great. I love a what do you call it? A period piece.
Oh yeah, especially in the 20s and 30s.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I think it was equal parts like dramatic and kind of scary and like, oh god, and then also funny and lighthearted, and there's a lot of just personality to everyone. I love how they showed the family, the Ederle family, because they're just so funny and
they're
cute.
such a great family.
Yeah. And I love how that was something in the book. I was so like, I love how her sister and her parents are like there for her all the time, and it portrayed that in the movie so well.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like so many emotions. Like
so many emotions.
You get sad, emotions. You get angry, you get scared, you get excited, you get like, yes! It's great.
The moment when she makes it all the way across the English Channel it's just one of those things where like the movie, I keep saying that. The movie perfectly built up the like struggle, and like you want this just as much as she does. And so when it finally happens, it's so gratifying. It's such a great finale.
And it's so, you leave off, I mean, usually when they do even the little text at the end, it's usually like, oh yeah, it's great, but later on, this happened.
She
and
died.
Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, this was a woman who lived, like, as far as we know, just a really fun, happy life. She did what she loved to do. She lost her hearing because she loved swimming so much, but at least from what the book portrayed, it was like she didn't...
Yeah.
That was just an unfortunate side effect for her. She was like, give up swimming? Nope. I think not. I don't
care. And
she
turned it into something great, too. She started, like, a school for deaf children.
Yeah, she taught deaf children how to swim. She never married. Right on, girl.
Yep.
She just wanted to live her life and be happy and be free.
And swim.
Yeah, and she just wanted to swim. And I think we all have something like that we love so much that we can't imagine not doing or having. And it doesn't matter what anyone else says. And so when someone tries to stop you, you're like, excuse me? No, I don't think so. And what I love about Trudy is it wasn't about, she was like, I gotta prove that women can do this. That was a great thing that happened by her doing this, but she was just like, well, I want to do it because I want to do it. Like, it makes me happy. I don't care about women, men, or whatever. I know that I can do it, and I love to do it, so I'm going to do it. And, I love that. It was great.
It's crazy that her coach or whatever tried to literally poison her.
It's insane how much people tried to stop. That's another thing, like, she didn't try to stir any of that up. She was just like, here's what I'm going to do. Right. And everyone's like,
all right, let me just try again now. I've got to do this.
Yeah, it's insane. Because usually when if someone's trying to make a difference or something, they're like, I'm going to be the first whatever to do this. And then I'll make everyone mad. But she was just like,
it wasn't about being the first woman to do it necessarily. It was just, I'm a woman and I can do it too. And I want to try. And why the heck would you think any different?
And why would I... Basically, she's like, why would I do stuff that I don't want to do? And why would I not do something that I want to do? And that is the philosophy that I try to live my life by. Try to be like, well, if I don't want this, why would I do it? If I do want this, why wouldn't I do it?
Life's too short.
Yeah, I love that. So, if you haven't seen this movie, it is on Disney Plus now. So, get out there.
It's very good.
Little streaming service and see. But yes, it should have gotten a way bigger theatrical release. Yeah. I don't know why they tried to sabotage their own movie.
It was so good. But it's Disney,
so
another great theater experience, because we went to like some like really niche small theater to see it, because it wasn't playing in a lot of places, but it was a really cool theater.
So it was cool. It felt like a 1920s theater,
and it fit really well at the time.
It was just so fun. My favorite theater experience so far, my favorite movie so far of this year. So, yeah, everything I hoped it would be and more. Very, very happy. But now, unfortunately, we have to talk about something
Oh,
not
no.
so great.
Do we have another one that's... Well, we have one more after that's positive, right?
Yeah, we have 2 more, in my opinion.
Oh. Yeah, I know. I know what it is.
But unfortunately, now we have to talk about the Acolyte.
Did you see the Acolyte? You may be entitled to financial compensation.
What a horrendous disappointment.
I don't know if I would even say disappointment, because I didn't really expect it to be much.
I was hoping that it would be really good. When I heard that they were making this and what it was going to be about,
Yeah.
that sounds like such a cool thing to explore. But oh my god, it was worse
I'm already
than
yawning.
season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it was worse than anything Disney Star Wars has put out so far, in my opinion.
I have refused to watch The Bad Batch because I hate The Bad Batch. I would watch the 2 seasons of The Bad Batch rather than ever watch this show again.
It was so bad I can't even describe it.
This was some of the worst writing and storytelling.
Ooh, my favorite part. The Jedi are bad. No, the Jedi are good.
What did you do? No, what did you do? No, what did you do?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Jesus Christ.
Those poor 2 little girls who played young OSHA Violation and whatever the other one's
Mayday.
name is. They did not deserve this. They were given nothing.
There is not a good performance to be found. There's not a good character to be found.
But there are good actors to be found,
There are
which is
good
why
actors.
you know that it's a function of the script and the directing.
It was so bad. And as we probably should have expected, a massive failure of the female empowerment attempt once again. I don't feel empowered by this.
No, I just could not connect to the main characters in any sense. Because I was like, what is even your motivations?
Exactly.
It was so convoluted by the end. I was like, I don't care anymore.
There is no reason why anyone does anything in this show. It was because the script tells them. Why does the sister May all of a sudden in the middle of the woods be like, I'm gonna be good now, bye? No reason.
I do like when they pull the Parent Trap thing. I was like,
Oh my god.
but then it wasn't very entertaining.
Why does the guy, the Qui-Gon Jinn knockoff, is so interested in these twins? Because he sees them in the woods. Yeah. And he's like, I have to train. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why? Why? You haven't even met them.
Because the Force, the midichlorians.
Oh my god.
Or whatever.
Honestly,
I don't remember much. I blocked everything out. So
the whole thing of why they end up infiltrating the witches and how the whole thing, how they all get killed is because some guy was bored and wanted to go home. That's what they did. And in interviews, what's her name, who wrote this crap?
I don't like this crap.
Leslie Headland, I think that's how you say her name. She literally admitted, like, yeah, well, I just thought that was like a funny reason why things went down. Like, he just is bored and wanted to go home.
They make the Jedi, I know that the Jedi are flawed people. But
they're straight up the villains in this.
Yeah, they're full. Well, which is an interesting thing to explore, but it's not in a compelling way. They're just really dumb and reckless, which is like they could have. I feel like they could have done it in a much more interesting way.
Yes. Horrible characters, horrible costumes. This looked like stuff I'd get at Party City.
It was pretty bad.
The villain? Oh. Let's have literally the Kylo Ren costume minus sleeves and just make the helmet a big smiley face.
Yeah, the helmet I couldn't decide whether it was creepy or dumb looking. So therefore it just didn't do much for me.
We get a dollar store Raylo story,
which also happens way too fast. There's like no development. It's just all of a sudden, he takes his shirt off, or he takes all of his clothes off, and then suddenly she's like, ooh.
And listen, there's nobody who likes enemies to lovers more than me. There's nobody who would love to see, a little bit of sexual tension here and there. But this was it was like they were doing a parody
of
Raylo. Mm-hmm. I was like, he will never be Raylo show. Whoever the character's name, OSHA and dude.
I like the meme that came from it. Does the name OSHA mean anything to you?
OSHA violation. Oh. 1,000%. I will... I'm losing my voice over this. I will criticize the sequels. I know that there's problems. I know that behind the scenes, there was a lot of issues that contributed.
Planning-wise.
Yes. But you can't look me in the eye and say that the sequels are not 1,000 times better than this show.
Yeah.
That the characters, at least, are 1,000 times more likable and have more personality, and there's actually some tension between the villain and the hero that makes sense why they would start out as enemies and why they would develop into lovers instead of just, oh, we took his clothes off!
You look like a politician right now.
I feel like a politician. Because this show is as crooked as a politician, as are the people behind it!
Yeah, well, there's issues, to say the least. It was really like a battle to get through. Every time Emily would be like, "Okay, we gotta finish it," I'd be like, "No." It was like going to like a doctor's appointment that I just really was not looking forward to.
Do we have to? Are we there
I've never
yet?
felt that way with Star Wars, and there have been some bad shows like Ahsoka. I struggled with, but I wasn't like fully like breaking out in hives at the prospect of watching the next episode.
It wasn't such an obvious, like Kayla said, pretty much every single episode. This looks like a Saturday Night Live skit.
And I've thought that about a lot of the show, like season 3 of Mandalorian. They brought Lizzo and Jack Black in. I was like, okay, are we doing like SNL parody? But like, I don't know, just the production value of this one as a whole reminded me of an SNL skit that was mocking Disney Star Wars, and I was like, I'd rather watch that.
Yes. And the budget for this
was really big, wasn't it?
Insane!
I don't know where that went.
Like, several times the budget of the Obi-Wan show, which everyone craps on. I'm like, that's 1,000,000 times better than this.
Yeah, I mean, they at least did a little bit more with the budget. I still don't like the Imperial base in the middle of the ocean or whatever. It looked really dumb. So I could tell that the budget wasn't huge, but it wasn't so glaring as literally every shot of this one.
I do not know where the budget went. I'm genuinely curious. And listen, people talk about the lightsaber battles and how it's the best choreography in all of Disney Star Wars.
There were some cool fights. I liked the one at the end between the Qui-Gon Jinn character and the Kylo Ren character.
Literally, that's literally what these characters are.
But that battle was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The stuff in the woods was all right, but I would not say that it's the best of Star Wars. We have Duel of Fates and
they're saying I think best of Disney.
I like the one at the end of The Force Awakens a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Kylo Ren, the way that he is choreographed and the way that he moves his lightsaber is really interesting to me.
Yes. He's kind of like just swinging it around.
Yeah, and it looks heavy. I know that some people don't like that, but it reminded me of like knights with swords because those things were heavy and like, I don't know. I really liked that part. I remember the first time I watched Force Awakens in the theater, I was scared of him, and it had a lot to do with the sound design around his lightsaber and his use of the Force, but also the way that he moved.
Yeah. And I will never dispute, like, as far as technical choreography stuff, I know a lot in the sequels is not great. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter because at least this is a personal thing. The emotional intensity is what makes the battles awesome. Mm-hmm. I don't watch Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back and be like, oh yes, the choreography is flawless. And
that's why
it's about the emotions.
Return of the Jedi at the end, when Luke is he wailing on Darth Vader, it's not like perfectly choreographed. No. It's not beautiful looking, but it is because the emotion is there and you actually care about what's going to happen.
My favorite shot in all of Star Wars is the pan of when Luke's going at him. Mm-hmm. And it's just you feel 6 movies worth of buildup in that, like, what, 5 seconds?
Yeah.
And it's literally just him moving forward, swinging, and Vader backing up.
Yeah.
There's nothing crazy about it. And I love the choreographed stuff too. The prequels, amazing, the fights, because the choreography is stellar. But again, I know people don't like the sequels, but when that moment in The Last Jedi when Rey and Kylo look at each other and the lightsabers ignite and then they turn back to back, I'm like,
yeah,
that was kidding me. Because yes, the choreography in that fight is like kind of
really messy,
but it doesn't matter because I was so excited about what just happened and that they were fighting together now. So that stuff doesn't matter to me. Okay.
No.
You can have great snappy fight choreography in the woods and it looks cool, but it doesn't matter because these characters are boring.
Yeah, I'll forget about it in a couple months.
There's nothing that happened with any of them.
All the rest of Star Wars fights, I will remember Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting for the rest of my life. I mean, that may be because I've watched the movie 10,000 times, but this I'll forget about. And
yeah. So I mean, that is like, okay, yeah, that's a plus you can give the show, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. All those characters died, and I felt nothing. I was like, oh no. Anyway.
Oh no. Stop. No, come back.
Exactly. Oh my god. Okay,
I've been waiting on to something greater.
Get that off my chest for like.
Can we talk about Twisters?
What
about Twisters? They killed off a bunch of characters at the beginning of Twisters, but it only made me care about the main character more. Now that's how you kill off a lot of people at the beginning of your film and still make the movie entertaining.
I just heard about that and was more emotionally invested than the show I actually watched. Ugh. But yeah, the future of Star Wars, not looking too good anymore.
No, I thought from Ahsoka,
yeah,
I was like, all right, I'm kind of done. And Mandalorian Season 3. Once you have their best show, The Mandalorian, and Season 3 is shitty, you're like, all right, it's time to wrap this up.
There were good things, though, in Season 3.
Yeah, there's stuff that I would have liked to see more of, which was why I'm glad they're wrapping it up with a movie rather than a show, another season.
And if they're smart, they're going to play it so safe with this movie.
Yeah,
because they have so many people to win back. And we all hear that Kathleen Kennedy is supposedly going to retire, but she wants to go out on a high note so she can take the credit for whatever the last great reviewed Star Wars media is. But whatever. I don't care.
I just know what to expect.
I'll always be excited for Star Wars. Always love Star Wars. All the movies they announced, I'm like, the shows what happened, it literally means nothing to me. It probably should, but I can't help it. When I hear about a new Star Wars thing, I'm like, oh my god, it sounds so good.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Yes. So, I'll be seated, trust, but
you better believe. All right, we gotta
Should we talk about Winnie the Pooh?
Oh, okay. This is one that I'm not so passionate about.
This is my Twisters.
Yeah, this is my twist. We need to use that as a thing. This is my Twisters. This is a Twisters moment for sure.
I'm gonna have a Twisters moment. Okay, maybe not that crazy because I just wasted all my energy.
Yeah. Well, I'll just start with what I thought.
Okay. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Winnie the Pooh.
Bud and Honey.
Bud and Honey 2. Listen, folks. Bader. This movie, I really felt nothing.
Oh.
I'm very, very neutral. The first one, I also kind of felt nothing. It was like low budget, obviously cash grab, gory movie. Trashy, gory movie. This one, better acting, better effects. It kept me entertained more. But once again, I'm like, I'd never watch it again. I'd never want to watch it. And it seemed like, I'm sure Emily's going to talk about this, seeing as I haven't seen Terrifier, but it definitely seemed like they were trying to do Terrifier in definitely the opening scene. And all of it, really. Just with, like, kill count. And that's really all it was for. Which, I mean, fair enough. But, I mean, you're not going to grab me personally as a viewer with that. I like I like a horror movie with a little bit something extra in it rather than that. And that's really all I have.
She's a bit more of an intelligent viewer as opposed to myself.
I don't judge anyone who likes these movies, but it just doesn't get me excited at all.
Listen,
see, The Shining is my favorite horror movie.
Yes,
so
yes.
That should tell you what I like.
It's no Twisters.
It's no Twisters. Let me tell you that.
The intelligence level of Twisters is a bit above Winnie the Pooh.
Maybe a little. The science in Twisters the science in Twister is kind of ridiculous, but the science in Twisters gets pretty ridiculous. and I don't care about that, so I don't judge anyone who loves a movie like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
And that's me. Well, at least this one. So much better. Much more what I think we were all expecting when we heard there's going to be a Winnie the Pooh horror movie. I think it's, yes, like Terrifier, the creators obviously listened to the criticisms. And they are honestly trying to make something that people will enjoy. Which, as we've talked about, the backlash got kind of crazy with the first movie. But thankfully it seemed like it was kind of a misunderstanding. And everyone kind of calmed down, apologized, move on. And it did seem like they took what everyone was saying and actually considered it and put effort in to make something that people would like, which I very much appreciate. It was the exact same thing with Terrifier 2. The creators listening to what people liked and what they didn't and trying to make something special for the fans, which, as horror movie fans, we love to see, because I feel like the barrier between, when it comes to horror, the creators and the audience, I feel like it's a much
closer.
Yeah. It's a tight-knit group if you're a horror fan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always really good to see. The effects looked really good for a movie of this budget.
Ooh, and you know what? I do have to say, Owl was a gay icon.
Oh,
I absolutely loved Owl, and he's iconic.
The villains were all great.
They're all kind of gay icons, but especially Owl. He had that extra little...
Yes. It was fantastic. I mean, anything horror, you're gonna get kind of the queer side anyway.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, they had personality. They had great looks to all of them. They were intimidating. It wasn't just... I feel like people have said this before, how each one is almost like not a mock, but like an interpretation of an iconic slasher villain. So like Owl is kind of like Pinhead with like his grand speeches and everything.
Yeah, and his deep voice.
Tigger very obviously was Freddy Krueger, and Piglet and Pooh are like the Jason and Michael. Whereas you just had Piglet and Pooh in the first one, just being silent killers with masks. And it's like, okay, that's not anything really unique though. So it was nice that they got really creative with this. And
I find it so funny how they tried to retcon the entire last movie by making it a movie within the universe that someone made about the actual story.
That's quite clever.
I'm like, okay, are we trying to Screamify this?
Possibly. Well, every horror movie these days has to be Scream, but...
Speaking of Scream, oh,
jeez.
We'll see what happens there.
But yeah, just tons of fun as a slasher fan. Lots of gore, intensity, craziness. Much better acting, much better characters. I actually was kind of into it, like at the end when Christopher Robin was going to fight Pooh. I'm like, oh, all right, let's go.
The main character looked exactly like the lead singer from Owl City, which is really funny.
Owl City?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And yes, as far as gore, we do seem to be entering yet another new phase of horror where now everyone's going to try to copy Terrifier because it's so successful. So we are going to see, I think, way more intense and crazy gore. Just trying to do as much gross, splatter, insane kills, which I am all for. I love the gore.
Couldn't be me.
I want to see it all.
I like it to an extent. When the entire movie's goal is gore, it loses me.
Well, you gotta have the personality edge in there too.
Yeah.
I have to have fun with the killers. They have
Which
to have a
they
little
were,
something.
they definitely, they had an upgrade in this one.
Yeah. And, I didn't hate the first one, but it wasn't a movie I would ever defend. This one, I'd be like, yeah, I'm into it. And I'm, the future for all of this kind of stuff looks a bit more promising. Because with
I
the
just
bigger...
hit my microphone, I'm so sorry.
Oh. With the bigger budgets and everything, I think they're going to look a lot more like this than the first Winnie the Pooh, which was incredibly low budget.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that obviously their story idea, which is what I suspected with the first one, their budget just didn't match the idea they had, so they had to compromise. So in this one, there was probably a lot more room to do what they wanted to do and make it look good. So yeah, I'm even kind of excited for like the Pooh-verse or whatever they're doing, where it's going to be like a play on Infinity War.
Oh
and
yeah.
everything. I'll tell you, I'm more seated for this than I am for anything Marvel's doing. So.
Yeah, I'm out of it. I saw some little clips from the new Fantastic Four they're doing, and I love Joseph Quinn, but I feel like he's going to majorly disappoint me as Johnny Storm.
Oh, that's gonna be a sore spot.
It's gonna be so hard for me because I love him, but I'm sorry.
Michael B. Jordan wasn't bad.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one.
He was okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see it. I have faith in Joseph Quinn. He's a great actor, but yeah, we'll see. Pedro Pascal is playing, what's it called?
Reed Richards.
Reed Richards, which I am excited for. I'm excited for the whole cast because they're all great actors, but I don't.
Well, so was the 2015 one, and
that's true.
Didn't end up.
Yeah. So really, that doesn't really. Yeah.
Well, I say we'll see. I won't see. I won't be seeing that movie, but
You won't, I'll watch it, but probably not in theaters, unless the trailer blows me away.
Anywho,
can we move on to the last one?
Yeah, we got one more movie.
Great movie we're also way behind on.
Well, because it took forever to come out on streaming.
Yeah, but we should have seen it in theaters.
It wasn't at our theater, except at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh.
Godzilla -1. We finally saw it.
We saw it. This was the best. Oh my god, I could cry about it for days.
Oh wait,
the human element was so well done, and the it was an interesting, the whole final battle leading up to defeating this monster. The monster stuff was there, the human stuff was there, and that is something you don't often get with Godzilla movies.
Yeah, it lived up to the hype so much.
It was so good.
Such good storytelling. The slow burn, you think it wouldn't work with a monster movie, but it works so well. Just building up the characters and the state they're in. Mm-hmm. The effects of the war were explored very much, which is exactly
what Godzilla is, so it worked so perfectly.
Godzilla is a villain, as he should be.
Yes, they understood the point of Godzilla.
An intimidating villain. And the effects were super good. It was intense. It was exciting. It was happy, sad. Talk about young woman in the sea again. All the emotions.
It was so good.
Really, really likable characters. Mm-hmm. I love how this little village, as they rebuilt themselves after the war, they all had to come together to defeat this monster. Now. Yeah. It was really, really good. Makes me want to see the older movies, because I do think we were talking about how the music I think they used from the older movies.
Yes, they did, I think. Godzilla -1 was a Twisters moment for me. I would say it got up there. I'll say that.
Yeah, I would have loved to see it in theaters.
I know, I'm very sad that we didn't.
Yeah, our theaters...
They don't play a lot.
They'll play stuff at starting at 9. And it's a 2.5 hour.
We go to bed at 9, so
I'm getting ready to go to bed. So.
I can't stay up that late anymore.
But we had a fun time. We had a fun little day watching it.
Yeah, we made a feast of food, and we ate, and we watched Godzilla -1, and it was an excellent thing. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I'm glad that it got Oscar recognition.
Yes, it won Best Visual Effects.
I think so.
Yeah, as it should have. They were really, really good.
Really great Godzilla movie. This is probably my favorite. Because
by
the
default.
others, by default, it's my favorite.
I haven't seen many. I need to see the original.
Yeah, but I've never been like my heart has never been tugged so much in a Godzilla movie before. Not even really a King Kong movie. I'll have to say.
Yeah, it was surprisingly.
It was first of all a movie, like a drama movie about war.
Yes.
And then secondary, a monster movie.
And like the mental war as well.
Yeah.
Like the effects of the people, what are they? The kamikaze pilots? All that stuff.
They're all a lot about like sacrifice and just you learn a lot about the culture of Japan, especially back then, which was really interesting. It was a very good movie, very smart movie.
Yes. And I'm, as not an intelligent viewer, I could appreciate it. And I was smart enough to understand it. So, you can too.
You can too. Anyone can if we could.
Yeah, so.
That pretty much sums up what we've been watching, our most notable movies that we have watched in and out of theaters.
And one crap show.
Yes. Yeah, the rest
in all seriousness, if you like The Acolyte, I don't think you're stupid. I don't think the people who made it are awful people or in real life or anything. Mm-mm. I'm just having fun, I promise. I don't get this mad usually.
It's Star Wars. We have to get passionate about it.
We all just love Star Wars, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You love Star Wars, I love Star Wars, and we get a little crazy.
Let's get together and feel it good. What's that song?
Feel it good. I'm not feeling what's his name good. Discount Kylo Ren.
Oh,
I don't even know his name.
The guy from The Good Place. Jason from The Good Place. Listen, he is so funny. I don't know what happened.
He's very pretty, guys. I get it.
Yeah, he is.
But listen, you're saying he's more attractive than Kylo Ren, and
don't say that to Emily.
I can't stand for that kind of slander. Anywho, our next two episodes, we have a 2-parter coming up.
Breaking Down. Breaking Bad.
It is going to be so much fun. So we're going to go over the entire show. And
season by season?
Yes. And that's why we're going to have to break it up into 2 episodes. We're just going to go over everything that happened, our feelings.
I know it's not necessarily in the major zeitgeist right now.
But everyone loves Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's a show that will always stand the test of time. It's always in like the top shows of all time. Yeah. So
it's part of what brought back TV.
Yep. Back in the day. Netflix, part of that. But yeah.
Great show.
You know it, you love it, and we will be speaking of it.
Yes. Just going over a big breakdown of the show, because I just finished watching it.
For the first time.
Yes.
We're currently halfway through Better Call Saul as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So we can't
probably
really
review
talk about
that one day as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so stay tuned.
We can talk about a little bit about El Camino too.
Oh, yeah, that will be a part of it.
I love El Camino. Yes. Stay tuned. That will be coming next.
Our next 2 episodes. It's going to be so fun. I'm so excited to talk about this show. Mm-hmm. I have lots of thoughts. So,
lots of thoughts, lots of feelings.
Until then, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook to stay up to date about everything that's going on. And just to see some fun stuff. We made some hilarious TikToks as of late.
If we do say so ourselves.
I think they were pretty funny. And yeah, so we make some funny stuff now and then on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Emily's book is still available.
My book is still available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon, and you can get the ebook pretty much anywhere you want. Yeah, so...
It takes 2.
It takes 2.
And it takes 2 to make this podcast. I feel like I made that joke in the last episode.
The book is not an autobiography about this podcast.
No, unfortunately, she did not write it about me and her.
I talked about you a lot in the acknowledgements.
That's true.
So yeah, check out my book if you're interested. I am a published author and I'm so excited. Okay, so until next time,
we will catch you on the flick side.